Chris from Laser Lemming, and I am making a video just like yesterday, except today. So, Nintendo and Microsoft are rumored to be releasing video game consoles that have no optical drive, meaning no discs, no Blu-rays, DVDs, whatever proprietary round shiny format you can think of, not included. So when it comes to Nintendo, the rumors are swirling because Nintendo filed a patent for a video game console that has no optical disc drive. And that means there's no discs, there's no DVDs, no Blu-rays. It could mean that it's a download-only system, or maybe it's a system that streams games, which is kind of a stretch for a lot of people's imaginations when you think of Nintendo, because a lot of people think of Nintendo and online and think Nintendo's way behind the times. They wouldn't think of Nintendo as a company that would make such a big step forward in that direction. Although many of us would probably consider that a step backwards as far as ownership rights go, because, if you're only streaming your games, you own nothing. You own nothing. You own nothing. Even when you download games, it's sketchy because of DRM. Like, companies, even Valve. Valve's great, but Valve says in their terms of agreement, whatever the hell it's called, that they could deactivate your entire Steam account like that. Hasn't happened to me yet. I've got over 200 games in my Steam account, but it's scary that it's a possibility. Somebody could just totally hack into your system, be an asshole under your account, and all of a sudden you're banned, you're blocked, you're done, your game's gone, and you agreed to it. So it's possible that this NX console will be a no-disc download-only system, but I doubt it. There's also people theorizing the idea that maybe Nintendo's returning to some form of cartridges, because, with handhelds, they never left it. Sony tried to get rid of cartridges on handhelds with the PSP, with those god-awful UMD discs that always broke, but even Sony succumbed to that failure, and the Vita had essentially what is a cartridge. Of course, they want you to download the games because they get a higher profit margin, but they went back to cartridges because the UMDs were a bad idea. Now, when it comes to consoles, we don't typically think that way. We think, well, this console stays here, it's not moving around, it's not a big deal, it's not going to scratch the system, or it's not going to scratch the disc, unless it's an Xbox 360, and it's just going to scratch the shit out of it if you touch the console while the game disc is running. I saw a Halo 3 disc get just mutilated from the console just getting bumped. But speaking of Xbox, let's talk about Microsoft a little bit too. There's rumors circulating as well that Microsoft is planning on releasing a quote-unquote Xbox One Mini, which would also be an Xbox One without an optical disc drive. No discs, it'd be download only. We know that this isn't going to be a streaming-only system because the Xbox One is not a streaming-only system, and the Xbox One is only about 2 years old or so, right? Right. Not quite. It's like a year and a half old. So they're not releasing a new system, like a new console, a successor to the Xbox One, no. So if they released another system, it would be kind of like the Xbox version of the PSP Go. Remember that? That was Sony's download-only handheld. And retailers hated it. They treated it badly because they didn't like the idea of selling a console, a system that they couldn't sell games for. The only games they could sell would be on those little pieces of thick paper, essentially, a little thing you buy, a piece of paper that you buy with a code on it. That's the only way that they can possibly. I don't even know if they make any money off of those things, to be honest, because I very much doubt iTunes or Apple is giving money for the iTunes gift cards that they sell. I think really those are just ways to get you into the store. Like, hey, I got to hit up Target to grab this iTunes gift card. And Target thinks like, well, you know that the iTunes gift cards are here, and while you're here, you might buy something else. So retailers did not like the PSP Go, but that was a different era. That was before smartphones were as huge as they are today. Because retailers, they sell smartphones and they don't have a bug up their ass about the fact that you don't have to buy the apps at the store. You buy them through the digital store, but they still sell smartphones. So I think it's possible that retailers wouldn't be so pissed off about a discless Xbox One or a discless Nintendo NX, whatever the hell Nintendo's going to call it. But who knows? Who knows? I don't think that Nintendo's next system will have no option for a disc. I think, if anything, maybe they'll release two SKUs, one without a disc drive and one with it. But I think, honestly, Nintendo's just kind of planning ahead for the future. I think the NX will definitely have a disc drive, just based upon what Nintendo has said recently in the past about the fact that people like owning their games, and a lot of people, most people, like to have a disc. So I think it will have it. Nintendo's just kind of planning ahead. But you can see clearly that Microsoft, and I'm sure Sony is thinking the same way, they are ready to go digital only. Because digital only means they get higher profit margins. They don't have to pay the retailer, Target, Walmart, GameStop. They don't have to pay them a goddamn thing. They get all that extra money. So they would love it. They would love an all-digital future. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.